Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat tengah hari lah, tengah hari kan, tengah petang lah. Hari ini sesi daripada Symantec antivirus yang akan menerangkan secara teknologinya. Pasal pada kebetulannya kita ada antivirus baru. Jadi saya memperkenalkan dulu Mrs. Shaw Low daripada Symantec is as Principal Consultant. Dia akan bagi kita detail lah mengenai teknologi baru yang dia punya revolution of Symantec lah. Dan tajuk pada tengah hari ini adalah tajuk mengenai ISTR, Internet Security Threat Report. Maknanya dia akan menerangkan apa dia punya threat masa kini lah. Okey, saya tidak membuang masa, saya mestikan Mr. Low, Shaw Low. Thanks.
Okay, so I will go to English. Okay, so good afternoon, guys. So my name is Sean. So I am the principal consultant from Symantec Malaysia. I am based out of KL. So UTM is one of my accounts that I'm handling from a technologically and solution standpoint, right? So today I am going to be talking on something that what Symantec do. We are going to be talking about those reports that Symantec publish out, and this report actually is seeing the health of the industry today. So not just from the education side, but industry as a whole. So you will know what kind of threats are evolving, what kind of new threats that you may be seeing. I'll be showing you some threats that you may or may not have seen or heard, but it will be very important and also very knowledgeable to know about this, because as these threats come along, then you will definitely, somehow you will get it, face it, right? Right, so let's go along. So before I go deep detail, just allow me for a couple of slides. So where is Symantec today? So I believe that the students in again. So right, so okay, never mind, it's okay. So today Symantec, I think earlier this year you may probably have heard that Symantec purchased another company called Blue Coat. So it's Blue Coat. So with the acquisition of Blue Coat, right, today Symantec is the largest pure play cyber security company on the planet. So nobody is coming close to us. Our closest competitor today, right, in terms of their intelligence and also market share, is less than half of our market and also intelligence. Right, so with the combined set of these two, we will become the largest cybersecurity intelligence for both endpoints and also the network side. Right, so we're going to combine all this information that will definitely help the customers out. Okay, so Symantec being the world largest, so where we are, so our portfolios today are really to cover the the cloud generation. So one of these kind of solutions you guys are already using, which I'm going to be talking about also. So we cover threat protection. Okay, definitely this is our bread and butter. Our threat protection will cover, from the endpoint, which is what you guys are using currently, and also the data center and the network gateway side. So we have solutions for all these things. So this is why we are one of the biggest security company, pure play cyber security, to help all these things. We also have information protection. So as we go along, right, today, if you guys know about our Norton consumer line, right, you'll start to see that our Norton consumer line also, we will put in solutions, right, to help you protect your data and your identities. So if you were to go and do online, if you are installing at home your Norton security suite, right, we will have at least a very minimal layer of protection against your online banking. And if you guys like to do a lot of e-commerce, right, your Lazadas, everything, all this information will be protected from your site instead of just being hacked by the man-in-the-middle attacks. So the Norton site, which is the consumer where you can get from, at home, these are all available already, but from a bigger set, right? For the enterprise and also for the education side also, we also have things like not a product, but more towards on the cybersecurity side. That means it's services. So today we have things like, for example, one of the things is that you customers are get phishing. They're phishing a lot, right? So what we do is that we do phishing education. That means we will, on a periodically basis, maybe once a month or twice a month, right? We have solutions or we have services whereby we blast out simulated phishing attacks. But these are all controlled. We blast out simulated phishing attacks from Facebook, from LinkedIn, the interface, right? And we'll see which user clicks on it, which user get infected and whatnot. But these infections are definitely not harmful. It's just that it's for the reporting. Why? These are all education side. That means we simulate out for you without telling you that this is going to be coming. Then the admin side will get the report, how many phishing attacks and how many people fall for that phishing. We have all these things. So this is part of our cybersecurity. It's more towards the education side. Okay, we are training the trainers, we are training the people as well also. And of course, these are all our engines. From all our solutions, we have a lot of different kind of engines to meet different kind of security attacks or security evasion techniques as well also. So different engines will be used for to detect different kind of threats, right? And we cover everything. So today, our bread and butter, we cover the endpoint, which is your antiviruses, your IPS and stuff like that. But we also cover things like in the cloud. You guys are probably going to be using a lot of Google Drive, Google Mail, Google Apps especially, or even Microsoft Office 365, right? These are all in the cloud. You don't have anything on premise to protect. So we have solutions as we go across, right? Because users are using this. So you need a way how you're going to be protecting this as the user use these solutions, but off the cloud. It's very different really, because off the cloud is free for all. It's a melee attack, so it's free for all. You cannot control. So we have solutions to do that, right? So, like I said, combined with Blue Coat, today we are really the largest. Our security intelligence, no one can come close to us. Why? Because from the very fact that Symantec, all this while for the past 14 or 15 years, if I'm not mistaken, okay, for the past 14 and 15 years, we have the largest endpoint install base in the world. So what does this tell you? With so many honeypots, right, so many endpoints database, it feeds us information. We have very, very deep insight information on what's going on at a very high level, what's going on to each of those endpoints from all around the world. That's very, very good intelligence for us. And with the acquisition of Blue Coat today, they are doing network intelligence. So with the acquisition of Blue Coat, they are the number one intelligence in terms from customers coming from the network side. So when we combine network and endpoint, we have a quadruple set of data that we can actually use. We call it big data analytics. We analyze all this data to go and see threats and market and how we're going to protect the market. Okay, and by the way, we have about more than today we are already more than 200 million endpoints around the world. Okay, we are already Symantec solutions, be it the Norton, be it the enterprise side of it, right? In totality, we are covering more than 200 million endpoints around the world, right? That's a lot of information. Okay, so that's just a quick overview on what Symantec is. What my topic today is really to discuss with you guys and also to show you some of the market trends on some of the security solutions or security threats, right, that's actually evading the market, be it in Malaysia, ASEAN, which is where we are part of, and also globally as well also. Okay, so these are all from our reports. These reports, you can get it from the internet. Okay, so you can definitely go and see it. Let's go back a little bit. Threats and malware. So back in 2009, it's about MediaCure, 2+ million about malware created. So these are all combined. It's not just zero-day malware or not. It's all the malware that's been combined, whether it's ABZ or that kind of things. 2015, you will see that we have about 400, and it basically blew up the skies to 430 plus million. So if you average that out, right, it's about 1.17 million a day. Yeah. So I mean, these are just not in the education sector, or these are just not in Malaysia or whatnot. It's a data that's been correlated from all around the world. And I can tell you from our experience, Malaysia, ASEAN, and Asia, right, especially, we are a hotbed we are contributing to a lot of this. Okay, we are contributing to a lot of this. So much so that this year, Symantec, under this report, right, we even dedicate one sub-report just for Malaysia. There is a report, right, because Malaysia's data is a lot. Why? Because we are a hotbed. We are contributing to a lot on these things, right? So we have data that's specifically for Malaysia as well also. But I'm not going to be discussing on that. Because ASEAN... Okay, you see, the thing is that the misconception here, pirate software is something that we have been dealing with for the past 10, 20 years already. So the pirate software is more of a legal issue than a security threat, to be honest. Well, there is certain threat because pirate software, you may not be able to get your updates, but that's just about it, okay? But pirated software or not pirated software, right? It's more towards the usage of the users and also the mindset today. So ASEAN or Asia, right? It's a very rapidly growing region, very, very rapidly. You look at Indonesia, you look at Philippines, right? Their internet penetration is growing very heavily. So more and more people are hooking up to the internet for what? At least for on e-commerce. So because of all these users that's coming online, right, there is little to no protection or little to no education on how to protect yourself from the online world. So to us, actually, it's more towards on the education side of it. You have to, it's just like phishing. So today we conduct phishing simulation attacks to tell you, yes, you are going to get attacked, you're going to get phished. What you're going to do with it. So we have this kind of things. So to us, what Symantec sees is that we are looking at this kind of quadruple kind of security threats, right? It's mainly because of the ignorance of the users, if you ask us. Because especially for consumer users, that means home-based users, right? They are really like nothing one. I mean, from an enterprise point of view, from like education and enterprise point of view, you have at least still got some sort of a control. But that control, I can tell you, is not sufficient. It's not sufficient. Having just one, because security threat today comes in many shape, form, and sizes. Different vectors, different attacks. There is no silver bullet, one thing can stop everything. There is no one thing. But a lot of people think, I buy one thing, I will be covered. But when they get it, that's where especially you heard of ransomware, right? Later I'll be talking about that as well. So, and ransomware in Asia, compared to the rest of the regions, we are the highest in terms of ransomware attacks. Malaysia government has a lot of ransomware issues right now. Government now. That means the Mampu side and everything like that. Okay. So, zero-day attacks. So, zero-day attacks are basically vulnerabilities that previously is not known. Okay, that's why it's called zero-day. Nobody know it. I detect it today, this minute. I use this, I exploit this and attack people. No antivirus, no IPS, no nothing definition can protect you against zero-day attacks because it's not known, right? So where is zero-day attack today? We have been very lucky. We have been very, very lucky because during the 2005 where our penetration is, right, at least for Malaysia, we are not very heavily, being attacked. Okay, at least part of this region. So as you can see here, right, from 06 to 012, from 06 to 012, it's just up and down. Not a lot, also not very little. It's just stabilized up and down a little bit. But you look at from 03, 03, it starts to go up a little bit. Actually, not a little bit. Like if you look at this figure, right, it's almost 2 times. It's 28, 23. It's almost 2 times. 3/3 already. 2014, it's going to go higher. Okay, but last year is a very unique year because I guess all of you guys, if you look at the news, right, you have seen a lot of issues pertaining to this region and also to the European and the Americas region. It went up to 54 zero-day vulnerabilities that has been detected over 1 year. So this is just specifically zero-day vulnerability. That means you use your software, nobody knows what's going on. There's a vulnerability in the coding or apa-apa like that, right? People exploit it and they don't tell you first because they want to use it. So why is there so many 0 days today? Like I said earlier also, I think I mentioned this. There's tons and tons of apps today. Okay? Not just from your Windows, but from your Android, your Apple phones and everything like that, right? There are so many apps. Anybody can create the apps. More apps equals to more usage, definitely, right? So when you have more usage, there will be more people who wants to go and attack it because the pool, the pool of users, that the target users, right, is so much higher already. So there is a motivation there, So today, most of our attacks, right, you just have to remember that most of our attacks, they are not motivated by cash. Although there are some, but they are not motivated by monetary or cash value. They are motivated by revenge. They are motivated by promotion of their names, or like Anonymous and everything, right? You guys probably know about it. They don't look at Anonymous. Do they want money? They don't want. So they don't like some people thinking they will just start hacking. So it's the name. I want to know who are you, that kind of things. Cash is still got, but it's not a lot. Okay. So yeah, you look at the vulnerabilities. These are Adobe Flash. I don't think you can see. Let me just read out. Windows and Adobe Flash is one of the top vulnerability contributor to the security market, to the security fraternity market in the whole wide world. So these are all users. You guys are using it. Adobe Flash, Adobe Readers. You guys are all using it. One tip: just keep on updating it. You have no choice. That's the only thing you can do. At least from at the very basic level. Okay, so that is 0 day. So it's kind of scary, but 0 day is nothing new to us. It has been happening for over the past 10 years. Slowly but steadily, it's going up. So we have ways to address it, at least at the very minimal level, for these vulnerabilities. There's another type of attack. Okay, targeted attack. So targeted attack, as the name says, it targets a certain individual. It targets a certain organization, or it targets a certain application. Why? God knows, for anything, monetary, fame, everything. So one very simple example of a targeted attack is phishing emails, right? So phishing email is still today very prevalent. Why? Because a lot of people they are not trained to know how to see or how to smell, is this email something fishy or not? They are just not trained, because I can be very, one of our solutions, right, where we do that phishing simulation, we even copied the whole Facebook interface or the whole LinkedIn interface, right, and put dynamic markers like hi Muhammad Izam, that kind of things, right? We can even go drill down to your particular name as well also, and with the same Facebook or same LinkedIn look and feel. So you would think that it is your email, or you would think that it is your Facebook account. It's as simple as that. We can do it as well also. So targeted attacks is still phishing email. So the landscape has changed a little bit. Let's look at this. So the average number of emails attacked, right, per campaign. So campaign means I want to target UTM, I want to target UTHM, I want to target each person or each company. Okay, the number of emails that's been sent to each of this company, right, has actually went down. All right, why? Because organizations may have anti-spam solutions to block all these things very easily, because if they have a flood of email, right, then anti-spam solutions will know how to block it from flooding. That's the simplest thing you can do. That's fine. The recipients also went down a little bit. Okay, why? Because it's going to be very target. Instead of you, I'm targeting the entire IT staff, right? I'm just targeting the pengara. I will know who is the pengara. I just target that one only. So this tells us something very interesting. While all these things are going down, that means they are very much more targeted now. They know who you are already. The campaign has actually went up. Oops. Yeah, the campaign has actually went up. So what does this tell you? This means, right, I will target the pengara. I target the pengara, one time tak jadi, second time, third time, fourth time. So every time I send an email is one campaign. Correct? It's one campaign. One time tak jadi, two time I try again. So the more campaign I will do, I will sure bound to get one jackpot. That's what they're trying. This is what it's saying here. So attacks is going up, but the emails is coming down. This is very interesting. Something from what differs from 2013 and 14. Because from 2013 we are still seeing a little bit going up until it goes back down to 2014. Right, and yeah, I think people as big as UTM yourself here, I'm sure you're bound to have some phishing attacks, because your emails are usually flying around everywhere, right? Yeah. So, and this basically tells you something. The phishing attacks, they are targeting the hardcore people. They are targeting the big people, the big fish. That means you look at this. Large enterprises, that means like education, universities, right? These are large enterprises. Large enterprises are being targeted the most compared to even those small people. Why? Because no money. The small people will, even if you manage to go and get somebody to get fish, right? How much can you get out of them? You can't. So the big players, the big enterprises, the chances of getting hit is higher. The chances of ripping up a monetary benefit is also much higher, right? This is the state of, by the way, this is all 2015. 2016, the report will be coming out next year, because there's always a 1 year behind, right? So next year, 2016, we will release the 2017, we will release the 2016 report. So this is what you guys are seeing. Let's see what will happen in 2017. Okay, vulnerabilities. Oh, by the way, there's any questions on the floor? No? Okay. So vulnerabilities. So vulnerabilities today are like, you use your softwares. Okay, you use your Microsoft Windows, everything. Microsoft Windows is full of vulnerabilities. Every Tuesday, Microsoft will send out to us, Malaysia, we will get it on Wednesday. So every Tuesday, US time, Microsoft will send updates to the update servers. So every Tuesday, you have to do your patching. That's why we call the Patchy Tuesday, right? This is for Microsoft. So what about other apps? So where we are looking at is, you can see, I don't think you can see from behind, right? So let me just read this out. There are certain vulnerabilities that are critical. There are certain vulnerabilities that are not critical, because there are so many vulnerabilities, right? So many attacks. These vulnerabilities, right, will evolve into malware. Why? Because malwares are different than viruses. Viruses, from last time is a piece of software, it's a piece of security threat that actually destroys your computer in one shape, form or another. That's a virus. Today, very rare you see viruses, because it just doesn't destroy your computer anymore. It doesn't make your hard disk spins, sector 0 spins away. It doesn't do that anymore, right? So what differs from a virus and a malware is that a malware, right, it doesn't harm your computer. It doesn't harm your computer. The objective of a malware is to extract something out of you or your PC. That is the difference. That's why malware we don't just work in one piece. They work with so-called a client-server kind of mentality. So what they do is that the malware, right, will drop into your laptop already. That one is basically just a client only. Okay, it's just a dummy client. What this dummy client do is that when you're connected to the internet, this client will hijack your internet and connect back to we call it a CNC server, and command and control server. Why? Because from that server, they are going to ask this malware to launch that particular attack, or to go and grab whatever information that's inside your computer and send it back to the server. So in this way, right, they are not doing any harm to your PC. They are not doing any harm to your laptop or whatnot, right? You can still use it, but your data will be all gone. I mean, if you don't take preemptive measures, your data, your personal data, valuable data, all gone. Okay. So, how they do it? The deployment of all these malwares, right? The simplest way is websites, compromised websites. So why is all these websites? Why is all these vulnerabilities on the website such a big issue? Because it's the simplest. These people, okay, we are just flagging out this one up because these are these are the Iranian people that earlier this year, right? They are the one that was caught attacking the NASA.gov website. There's a vulnerability that's been detected there. They exploited that vulnerability to actually infiltrate NASA's network. And obviously, don't ask me how they get caught, but obviously they got caught lah. That's why their faces is here. So these people, they just happened this year, right? It just happened earlier this year. This is where why is it such a needed for you to protect your websites also, not just your endpoints? Because if you don't protect your websites, your users, your students go to a UTM website that's been compromised, your students will be infected. And imagine your whole population of your students being infected. How are you going to, get it done over with? So, in this, that's how we found out. From 2013, Symantec, we have, if those customers that's using Symantec solutions, right, and the appropriate solutions, that kind of attacks or that kind of vulnerabilities, we can already been address it already. It's detected in 2013 and they are reusing it in 2016, right? It's the same thing. So we have signatures to detect it and protect yourself out of it. Next one, but last but not least though, is ransomware. Ransomware today, right, you can see it's something that is very prevalent, that's happening in Malaysia also. The government is having a very big ransomware issues that we know of. There's also a very big ransomware issues in Malaysian banks. That means Bank Negara's, not Bank Negara, the Malaysian registered banks, let's put it that way. Not those, we have not seen it so much on the foreign banks yet, but local banks, Maybank, Public Bank, all these things. Let me just tell you a little bit about the ransomware. So ransomware today, right, you can always see this already. From last time, if you guys are using computer for a long time, right, you will start to see things like, when you serve a website, they ask you, your computer is running slow, please go and fix it, download this software and fix it. Okay, this is just one thing, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't really clean up for you. It's more like a place where I put an agent inside it and connect back to the servers. Next one, you start to see fake AV, and you can see that this one is very, very similar to our Norton logo, our Symantec Norton, the consumer home-based logo. It's very, very similar. It's frightening similar. These are all the fake AVs that you will be seeing around. Then come really is ransomware. So what this does, right, is that there are two types of ransomware today. The first stage is the locker type of ransomware. What this do is that once you get infected, right, it basically locks you out from Windows and asks you to go and pay money to go and release release this locking. There are certain solutions that can address this because they are only locking your Windows domain only. That's all. That means when you log into your Windows, when you log into your laptop, right, you'll be asked to key in your Windows username and password. They are just locking that only today. This one. But what's more frightening, those that's infecting all the banks right today, is this one. So what this do is that this is a crypto ransomware. Crypto ransomware basically, as the word says, right, when you get infected, it basically encrypts your entire hard disk. It encrypts your entire hard disk and come out this message to go and say, okay, please give me money. I will give you the key to decrypt it. The problem here is that this one, there's no way you can recover from it. Why? If you guys know about encryption technologies, right? Today, 256-bit encryption, okay, 256-bit encryption would require today's punya supercomputer, the fastest supercomputer on Earth today, would take at least 150 to 200 years of that power of calculation to try to decrypt that 256-bit encryption. So what I'm trying to say is that basically you won't live that long. There's no way you can get it encrypted out in today's lifetime lah. So this is what they do. They are locking your entire hard disk. So not only your Windows, all your files tak boleh guna already. It's gone. Okay, it's gone. Symantec's advice to their customers: don't pay the ransomware. Don't pay them. Why? Because you have no guarantee. No one can guarantee that when you pay them, right, your money is there, it's in the black market, it's gone, but they will give you the key to decrypt it. There's no guarantee to it. And in Singapore, our neighbors here, this is just exactly what happened. There are documented cases in Singapore whereby businessmen provide 3 different Bitcoin payments to decrypt the ransomware, which was unsuccessful. After the 3rd time, they made a police report. Okay, so Symantec's advice is even you kena already, do not pay them. Okay, so what can you do? Unfortunately, the answer is there's nothing you can do. Crypto ransomware is locking your entire hard disk. Once you get it, there's nothing you can do already. Unless you really got the key to decrypt it lah. Unless you really have it. Okay? So yeah, like I said, so ransomware, the crypto ransomware today you can see in 2015 is the highest type of ransomware that is attacking. In Malaysia, it's the same thing, I can tell you. We are seeing from the banks right now especially, and they are just not telling you. Okay, and this trend is going to go up. In 2015, we are seeing about 35% going up, and 2016, I can almost guarantee you today, from what I am seeing in the fields of Malaysia today, right, I can almost guarantee you that it's going to go higher than that already. Okay, this is again from what I'm seeing lah. So you can see there's so many types of ransomwares today, and ransomware today is not only attacking Windows-based laptops. It's not only attacking your Mac OS laptops. There's also ransomware that blocks your Android phone as well also. So let's see what are those. These are the family that blocks the Android phones. They are also Linux, because Unix, right? They also works to block Unix-based system. That means the servers lah, right? And also the Mac OS side. But in Malaysia, just to let you know, in Malaysia, the most famous one that got attacked over the past end of last year to this middle of this year, right, is actually this one. I'm not sure you can see. It's called Locky, L-O-C-K-Y. Locky is very, very prevalent in Malaysia market, especially in the in the government and the bank. I have no idea why lah, at least for now. Okay, so yeah, we are getting it a lot hit. Okay, this is something very fun, okay, and also very scary also, consumer scams. Not sure if you guys came across any, but I certainly did, and I certainly do have. Later I'll show you some YouTube links. If you want to go and take a picture, you can by all means go to that YouTube link. You will see how these scams being run by just telephone calls from people from India, right? It's called technical support scams. You will laugh your hearts out, I can tell you. It's a 35 minutes video from YouTube. You will laugh just by listening to how they do it. Okay, so consumer scams today, we are looking at IoT devices. IoT basically means Internet of Things. Internet of Things means, it's just a concept to say that anything, any device can be connected up to the internet, correct? So today we are looking at connected cars. It's not in Malaysia yet, but you know Tesla cars, right? They are already, the internet cars. If you look at those Tesla, the brand called Tesla cars are all controlled by a central internet database. Okay, so what does that tell you? Cars are actually connected to the broader internet network, and because a car is also considered an endpoint, because you're a user. It's considered an endpoint. What does that mean? I can try to hijack to go and do certain damage to the car. At least not from a monetary point of view today, because cars you can't do. I don't see how you can monetize a threat to the car right now. But what you can do is that you can do revenge attacks to cars. Especially, your boss go and drive this car, he fire you or something, you go and attack that kind of thing. There are rice cookers and fridge today, internet already. You look at that day I saw in KL. In KL, I went to this home consumer fair. There is rice cooker, Panasonic punya, and the apa ni fridge Samsung. They put a SIM card inside the fridge punya console, and it's connected to there. Of course, they have this wireless and also the network punya lah. But when they demo SIM card. They use the 4G. They did that. Yeah. It's already here, a smart home. Yeah, you look at Putrajaya Precinct 6. You go to Precinct 6 and see. Somewhere the home is like smart one. You walk there, light come on, LED light. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like I'm saying, so what happened if you get this one? Fortunately for us, at least because it's so new, right? We don't see this yet. Threat in the cars is not really there yet, but the possibility is always there. But what we are seeing is the threat is already in, this kind of threats is already in your laptops, in your PC, in your endpoint already, right? So these threats are real. This will very easily migrate across to all your IoT devices, your cars, especially your cars, okay? So yeah, so the technical support scams, these are part of the so-called the consumer scams that we are looking at, right? So what this does is that if you go to this website, you cannot see, right? You go to this website, you will laugh your hearts out. Why? Because you see how, I mean, we are all IT people. We do, now that you know about it, right? They will just tell you, okay, can I please take control of your computer? You will say yes. They take control of your computer, and you know, this kind of scams, right? That computer is actually a VM. It's actually a virtual machine. It's just to go and test the person, right? What they do is that, oh, I have this virus attack. Can you please come and help me to solve it? Yes, I take control of your computer. They do a little bit thing, go to the registry and show, oh, because this registry is there, you have a virus. So therefore, you need to go and purchase this 1-year plan for $99.90 for us to help you to go and clear the virus. That kind of things. It's a 35 minutes long. I'll just leave it to you to go and have a look at it. You will laugh out. I laugh a lot when I went there. Okay? So this is a very real threat. It's a lot today. If you compare with just 1 year, right? Symantec, our solutions, our website solutions and our web blocking solutions, we are blocking more than 100 million scams of this manner. And these are worldwide. These are not just localized to Malaysia. We are blocking hundreds and millions of this kind of so-called. They are not threats. They are just websites that think that it's a technical support website, but actually it's not. So we are blocking all those things already. Right? Now, you have some students here. I do not know, after you are graduate from your IT, you want to become a professional in this? Huh? There's a few students. Yeah, so IT students, right? They are IT students, yeah. So I don't know when you want to, because today, gamers can make millions of dollars in in pocket money. You just play Dota games, they can in the news there they are earning what, $5 million just to win the first prize. You have all these things. Well, looks like what security also has its own game. So if you want to become a hacker, well, you can become a certified ethical hacker. Okay, there is a CEH certification that you can take. But what if you are a certified unethical hacker? You see, so that's where you can make a lot of money. Ransomware is all done. The codes, right, are 100% today. 100% they are all done by what we call certified unethical hacker. Let's put it that way. They know how to program it. They know how to create a very small scale software agent, drop it into the PCs, and start getting data. They are all done by students. They are all done by professional people who has the time and the motive to do it. So maybe, yeah, UTM. Okay, so why? Because you can see it's actually going up. Remember my slide, this one? The vulnerabilities are actually going up. Why? Because there's more and more people who is actually doing this. Okay, come 2016, 2017, right up to 2020, right? 2020, you will start to see this rise is still going to go up, non-stopping. We expect at 2021 to 2025, Symantec expects that as a cooling off period. judging from the trend, we expect 2021 to 2025 is the cooling off period. Other than that, it's going to go up and up and up. We expect it, huh? Let's see what the report comes out next year. So why? Because as a programmer, okay, you can actually deconstruct and reprogram any type of software to make that software and to make use of that particular software's vulnerability, right? To exploit it to your own advantage. You are already using Adobe. You are already using, okay, maybe Microsoft Office or Microsoft devices, or it's a little bit harder. You are already using those PDF writers that you are using, guys. So yeah, PDF writers. Those are very PDF writers is only what, 2-3 megs of file only. They're so small. So the smaller the file, the smaller the code. It's much easier for you to deconstruct. But there's a lot of people who is using these PDF writers because they need to print the PDF, right? If you're genius enough, you can rewrite the code and find and exploit it out. The Cube PDF is the most famous right now. Okay? So, as a work, you can see also the tech support, this is documented in US. So you can see here is what they do is that they're combining the ransomware. So just now the ransomware we talk about is the crypto ransomware, right? The one that encrypt your whole hard disk. Okay. So what they are very smart today. What they are doing is that they encrypt your whole hard disk. Okay. Instead of you asking payment, right? They go and tell you, oh, I have already blocked your hard disk or already decrypt your hard disk. Please go and call technical support, my technical support, to go and discuss about this. Some people will think a little bit bodo, right? But then it's actually quite smart. Because you know why? Instead of being just so red color, right? Like, okay, your hard disk has been encrypted. Please pay me X amount of money for you. They will just tell you like that already. That one is the normal ransomware. But this one, right, is like doing business, you know. Hey, I blocked you already, lah. You want something? Please give me money, or let's talk about this one. And that's why they ask you for. They even give you a link to the technical support site also. That's what they do. Okay, this is how they monetize it out right now. Okay. So, any questions? Any questions? No? Okay. So let's just come back to UTM. Okay, let's just come back to UTM. I have a couple, maybe about 2 slides. So where is UTM today? As far as we know, where is UTM today? So today UTM is already embarking on the first steps, or at least a very, very critical steps to protect the endpoint. Okay, they are already using our Symantec. This is our bread and butter, Symantec Endpoint Protection, which is the enterprise grade antivirus solution. Okay, it's very different. It's similar yet different from the one that you guys know at your home, Norton antivirus and stuff like that. Sorry? Edge equipment, PCs, user PCs. Okay? Endpoint is PCs, laptops. So we call it SEP version 14. So SEP is the Norton equivalent for enterprise. Okay? Your Norton antivirus equivalent for enterprise environment. They are very similar yet very different. Similar, why? Because yes, their engines, most of their engines are developed from the enterprise brought up to the Norton side, and also they share the same database. But what is different here is that because this is used by used by enterprise, right? Their engines, their method, their detection method, their prevention method, right? The engine is much more aggressive. Why? Because it's protecting the enterprise. It's not protecting just the end. Because they have more their database signatures, right, has more QCs compared to the Norton side. Why? It's just a fact of the trade. Norton is consumer. We target for the consumer, the home users and everything like that. Home users, you have a lot of feed. You cannot be doing all your QCs for all your feed from all around the world. We have 200 million endpoints. How on earth are you going to, each endpoint can feed you 10 times, right? You 200 million times 10, you just die. Correct. The QC for endpoint protection 14, which is the enterprise equivalent, they are much more aggressive. They are much better, very much more suited for enterprise grade. Very large deployment of enterprise. Okay, this is our new version. It's just released 2 months ago only, and this versions really is designed to actually help to protect all those threats that I mentioned just now, especially the ransomwares. At least from a very minimal level, it will help you to protect it, right? So we have a lot of engines, like I mentioned earlier. We have a lot of engines. So some of the engines, right, as you can see here, the memory exploits. We have the advanced machine learning. So we are trying to build. Okay, we're not trying to lah. We have already built in artificial intelligence coding, artificial intelligence engine, right, into that particular SEP14 client. So what this does is that it's, let's say UTM has 10,000 staff, for example, 10,000 staff, 10,000 students. And each of these students and staff install SCP-14, right? So what it does is that all these 10,000, right, endpoints, the agents, it will have the ability to learn unique stuff for that particular endpoint only. So let's say Mr. A and Mr. B is using the same version, the same endpoint, but Mr. A threat and Mr. B's threat landscape may be very different. Why? Because these two people are, number one, probably they access different websites. They probably access different applications. So their threat landscape for that particular person is very different. So advanced machine learning, right, it's a step where the software is trying to predict and learn how you use your machine, what you do with your machine to give you the appropriate level of protection. They are trying to do that. It's not perfect, but because it's a constant learning methodology. All right, and this is something that is very new. This is used to protect you against identity theft and you know, a host wall of website vulnerabilities, because they know who you are already. They know you like to access Facebook. So you know, emulator is something that we, at least at the very low level, right, is to help you to protect ransomware. How they do this is that the emulator, right, they will try to detonate, or they will try to run that particular file and see whether it locks your computer or not. Okay, without actually locking your computer. So if there's any sign of that particular file is trying to lock your computer because of the ransomware, it will stop that process for you. Okay, it will stop that process. Whether it's good or bad, because sometimes locking computer is good because you have encryption solutions. Whether good or bad, they will lock it out first, unless you do some exception out of it. This is where it will, at least at the very first level, protect you from ransomware that locks your computer. Because, like I said earlier, once the ransomware locks your computer, sorry, there's nothing you can do. You can come to Symantec. Symantec will tell you, I'm sorry. The best way is to address ransomware, right, is to make backups. And if if the ransomware hits your computer, the only way you can do it is just restore from a backup. Because there's really nothing you can do. Your files. And for Android handphones, right, what you can do is that you just wipe off everything. Just wipe off everything. But like Android and Apple phones, right, they have this backup, right? If you use an Android, you can actually backup, use the Google Cloud to backup your data. And when you change phones, let's say when you change Android phones, right, you can actually stream back all your files and all your contacts and all your applications. All your applications as if that you have not changed the phone before. So yeah, that's the only thing you can do. But all your files that is being locked into the SD cards that's inside your PCs or your phone, right? Gone. Yeah, that one we cannot do anything because it's already locked. So your SD card is like a hard disk. It's locked. I cannot do anything unless you tell me I really have the decryptor key. I key in and encrypt lah. If you really, okay, there are some websites. You go and Google. There are some websites that actually provide a database list of well-known decrypted keys. There are websites. You can Google and see. But there's no guarantee. See? There's no need to encrypt. There's no need to there's no need to put a malware inside encrypted because encrypted is encrypted. You can't do anything already. There's no need. Yeah, encryption portion is in the encrypted. Maybe, but yeah, ransomware. The solution is for money. Malware. The objective is not really money. It's data. I need to steal your data. So there are two different, very different objectives, and these threats are very real. Ransomware is, I crap you, I want money. Because I can't do anything, I want money. Malware is, I want data. I want your personal identifiable data. If you are keeping a lot of your passwords and everything in your laptops, your PCs, good luck lah. Right? So that's basically a very quick overview on the threat landscape today. These are all very, very new information because this report is only, we do this report every year though. So, but this report is only released towards the second half of the year. Every year is always second half of the year. So what you are seeing now is it's going to be December. So you are just seeing information that is released less than 6 months ago only. So it's very, very new information. Yeah. So yeah, I basically it's available to take some questions if you guys have any. Yep. Slow. Okay. All right. Okay, the simple answer to your question is no. Why? Because this is something that is fundamentally in Symantec's DNA. From our three major previous version. That means SCP-14, our previous version is SCP-12. We don't have 13 because the orang putih all don't like number 13. So all our Friday 13, all this is very bad. So yeah, just don't ask me. All our solution, we have no version 13 one, don't have. So we have version 11, 12, and now 14. So it is our in DNA that as with every version we goes, right, we do a performance benchmark to make sure that the performance of the usage and the performance of the SCP's agent does not actually slows that particular computer down. So for SCP-12, we have third-party documented that's available on the websites and that you can download. We have third-party documented performance benchmark results. Okay, we have that. SCP-14, we are doing it right now. The team is telling us that it will be released at least the first quarter of next year. So you will have the same performance benchmark results that you will see in your previous version. But just to answer directly to your question is that SCP-14 compared to SCP-11, it is 80 to 90% smaller footprint. Compared to SCP-12, it's 40 to 50% smaller footprint. So that is tell you something. So for SCP-14, even though we have so much more engines built into the solutions, right? All these engines, some of these they will run concurrently. They cannot be switched off on because it's at the moment right now. It's such that the build factor is that it must run. You cannot switch. There's these features you cannot switch off on. There are certain features you cannot switch off. With all this running, you will still get at least 40% compared to the previous version. So the footprint actually is less than 10 megabytes of processing power at the moment we are seeing. But it plus minus, it will differ between your endpoint environment, which is like your number of CPU, RAM, hard disk space available, and also what kind of Windows you're using also. If you're using Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 8, different Windows will have different memory paging mechanisms, which will affect memory utilization. Right. So yeah, SAP 14 is very, very light today. It's so light that we don't even really need to install the antivirus database anymore. Why? Because our antivirus database, right, 70 to 80% of them, we are pushing into the cloud. So when users were to scan, right, they are basically doing a cloud lookup. It's basically just a hash file only. They're looking for the cloud to go and see whether this is a virus or not virus. That's all. There's no data. There can be no database installed in the laptop itself also. I don't even need that also as well, provided you got internet access. No. You know what's hash file or not? Like MD5 hash, that kind of thing. So every file you download from the internet, right, there is this MD5 checksum file, that kind of things. MD5 checksum files are unique to that particular file. If this particular file, you resave it and make some changes, the MD5 changes, correct or not? We are not uploading the entire file to scan. We are looking at the MD5 checksum file to go and see whether this MD5 is a virus or not. So MD5 is unique to every environment laptop. You cannot change it when. This is what we are doing. We are not uploading. So it's just what? Bytes? MD5 checkup is just like text file, bytes only. What? Yep. Any more questions? Idea lah. It's okay.
Kalau kita punya
Okay, so like I said, there are different vectors in threats that's coming in, correct? So endpoint protection is actually, we are essentially protecting what's inside your PC, your endpoint, your laptop, everything like that. Okay, to a certain extent, the network protection layer, the endpoint solution will be able to help you to assist that. Why? Because as long as the data is originating or terminating from your PC, nak pergi internet, nak pergi the network center, right? We will try to clean that as much as possible, okay? Before it flows to the network card or before it flows out to your Wi-Fi, everything. But if those threats are being flowed through the network already, right? The endpoint can't do anything because endpoint is not seeing those things. This is where you will need the network-based solutions, okay? That's why you remember I mentioned Symantec has a very big information depth of endpoint database, okay? The endpoint intelligence. The Blue Code site where we bought this company called Blue Code, they have the largest intelligence in the network side of it. So we can leverage Blue Code solution, or now it's called Symantec lah. We can leverage those Blue Code solutions, right, and protect your network layer. So it's a very different. Like I said, there's no one silver bullet that can do anything. You cannot just say that I put one thing, my whole total network is secured. There's no such thing. In fact, you guys should know, right? In security, there's no such thing as 100% security. No matter how secure you are, do you dare to say you're 100% secure? There's no one in the correct mind in the world will tell you, I am very secure. Please come and hack me. No one will, at least from an operational point of view, no one will go and say this, correct? Because, in fact, when I was studying last time, like maybe 10, 20 years ago, when I was, studying IT back out in Australia, right? There's a saying that, and this also works very well with the security fertility market. When there's a will, there's always a way. Right, correct or not? So, and today we are seeing ransomware. Ransomware is exactly what it is. Ransomware is the result of this word. When there's a will, there's always a way. Why? Because what is the will of the ransomware users? What is the will? They want money, they want data, they want money. And how do they do it? They can't just go and put another virus or malware or anything in it, because that one can be addressed very, very good with the antiviruses and solutions already. You cannot just say, I just go and build one virus and then just dump it inside there and then I dapat everything. You can't, because antivirus is come such a long way for the past 15 years. Antivirus is become very, very good already. We are so good in detecting viruses that people just stop creating viruses anymore. So what they do right now is that because there is a will, they find the way to go and get the money. So they block, Today, technology, they encrypt your entire hard disk so that you cannot do anything. Yep.
Saya tanya dah, orang you tak jawab, saya tanya.
Tak apalah, tanya.
Unknown process.
Unknown process. Uh-huh. When you say process, what kind of process? A process in the PC itself lah. What kind of example? What kind of unprocessed? Meaning? Okay, so in our set 14 especially, one of our engine is called Sonar. Okay, Sonar. Okay, SONAR lah, Sonar lah. Okay, this is a name. But what essentially this engine does, right? Because there's so many engine. What essentially this engine does is that it tries to it's actually a behavioral engine. Okay, it's behavior. So what behavior? Not user behavior. Is the file's behavior. Let's just say if file is supposed to be sending to a printer, okay, sending a data to a printer to print, but the antivirus solution or the SCP-14 is looking at this, but he's also seeing that this file, other than just sending to the printer, I'm sending something to the internet, for example, and this something to the internet is not normal, and I will classify that. I will try to classify that for further analysis, or with the policy that's been set, right, I can actually block it out first. So how do we detect this? It's all behavior engines. We try to understand what this file is supposed to be doing. So unknown files, to address your answers, or to address your question, unknown files are for us, we are relying very much on the behavioral engines. And you guys will have this already in this new version. Yeah. And the behavior, and the behaviors, we also learn from our intelligence. So things that you think is there, or things that you think is not there, but our intelligence say is there, it's there. Yes. Because we will have a bigger set of data, because we do big data analysis. Big data can. After years. Yup, they can. So what you do is that your whatever threats or whatever data or virus that has been detected over the years, right, from UTM especially, chances are it will be sent up to the cloud for analysis already. Now, but of course that one is not a personal identifiable to say, oh, this threat is from UTM. They from the cloud they won't see. But you are contributing to the cloud. Why? Because that cloud eventually, right, will help you back in getting that data to your endpoints, to your PCs. Today, this cloud information will be used in almost all of our engines to train, to learn, and to help you to protect those data so that you can leverage the entire worldwide community data. Instead of just UTM punya data, the entire worldwide punya data also you will be leveraging it. You are using that. It's better, right? UTM is contributing the data, fine, it's very good, but isn't it better if you can get the data from anywhere else for the entire world? Because imagine your students or your lecturers or your staff bring a laptop home, bring a company issued laptop home or UTM issued laptop home and get the virus from there. Or most of the time is thumb drive, the USB thumb drives. Those are the one that's actually locking out, or those are the one that's actually spreading a lot of malwares, right? From a personal to company usage point of view. All sit here, no one sit there. Betul. Kalau dia Kementerian Pertahanan, then all the engine is ialah tentera darat, tentera udara, all these things lah. So I think I wanted to add on you mentioned something about the free antivirus, right? Well, I think most of us are probably going to be using that because it's free. Now, free comes with a price, okay? Yeah, free comes with a price. See, now, today, right, okay, I would say almost all of security solutions, if you look at my explanation just now, right, you will notice something that's a common denominator, how we address it, how we address the threat. And that common denominator, right, how we address the threat is actually a cat and mouse game. We are playing catch up. We always play catch up. No, that's why I say, because we play catch up, there's no guarantee, 100% guaranteed security. There's no such thing. No one will be able to tell you that, correct or not. You have to set that in your mind. Now, because of that, free antivirus compared to an enterprise antivirus, what's the difference? Free antivirus, the database updates maximum once a day. Maximum. Correct? You look at AVG, but now AVG bought over already lah. So you look at AVG, once a day saja kan. If there is any, it's only once a day. Corporate antiviruses or enterprise grade antiviruses like the Symantec endpoint security SCP-14, right? We have definition update whether to the server or to the cloud, where if you are scanning, right? Minimum 3 times a day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Minimum 3 times a day. Okay, this is the commitment of this is commitment from Symantec, and because Symantec is also part of a global security alliance where there's also other vendors inside there, Symantec is committed to do all these things to help give the fastest possible threat protection up to the minute to the clients. We do 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, compared to once, at least at the very max once a day. So this is the difference, right? And obviously, free antiviruses won't have a lot of engines. At the very most they have is just the antivirus engines. But for the fact that you all know that viruses today is getting less and less. There's less and less viruses today already. What's going up more is malware. So, yeah, you need to have the correct set of protections to protect against you, not just for the sake of protecting lah. That's what I'm saying. And for Malaysia, like for myself, my home laptop, right? In KL, we go to Laoyat lah. If you know Laoyat Plaza, kan, we will just go and buy something because it's so cheap. It's like RM30 for one PC for 1 year. I mean, I can afford that lah. RM30 kan. Dulu is berapa? 100 lebih. So now it's something. Tak. Hey, wait, Symantec ah? Oh, that one I don't know because I get free. Symantec I get free. corporate purchase. But sebelum I joined Symantec, because I used to buy anything. I used to buy things like apa tu? Avira. Because it's okay lah. Why I'm saying this, because personal is personal lah. I'm from Symantec. I joined Symantec, but before I joined Symantec, personally, I use Avira. Why? Because the cheapest there. It's the cheapest. RM30. I bought that one last time. Cut the fare. So don't judge me. Don't judge. Okay?